Greetings and welcome. Welcome to the introduction video for a new series that I've been thinking about doing for a little while now. Welcome to a solo playthrough of Kingdom Death Monster. Before I begin, I don't mean to embarrass the creator of this beautiful digital table and tabletop simulator. However, I really do humbly bow in appreciation to Nognoth. I believe that is how you pronounce his name. I apologize if I butchered it a bit. But Nognoth, I bow and thank you for this wonderful masterpiece that you have here. This right here is a fantastic and a very highly, I would say, perfected tabletop simulator, game. The board is wonderful. Everything was organized beautifully, and inputting all of the data that is necessary for this game is as easy as clicking the most intuitive setup of buttons I have ever seen. So thank you, Nognoth, and everyone who assisted you. Now, moving on, what am I doing here? So, this project, I've played this game with my friends. I've never gotten very far because we don't get to hang out often enough to do a full campaign. But after I found this on Tabletop Simulator recently, I thought it would be a really great idea to get a video going to show the game off, played in its entirety. Now, I'm not sure how entertaining this will be. I decided to do no background music so that you guys who are watching can insert your own music to my videos. What I am going to do is, much like with a lot of my other game playthroughs on this channel, I'm going to do a very storied playthrough. Now, it won't be completely serious, but I will read it semi-seriously. Alright, I'm going to read it seriously, but I'll definitely try to keep the humor light, because this game is pretty hardcore. And let me talk about what is set up and what is Kingdom Death. What are you all getting involved in? Kingdom Death, it's kind of like combining Monster Hunter franchise with Dark Souls franchise for difficulty into a board game. We're going to be going out hunting monsters and trying to survive for 40 in-game what is called lantern years, as you can see from the lantern icon here. I have set this up to include every single expansion that was included with this, and upon checking on official websites and resources, is up to date. Every expansion I do believe is in this game. So here is the overall layout, and I'll start from the top. We'll go work our way left to right, going down. Just a quick overview for this introduction video. If you're not interested in hearing all this because you know how to play the game, feel free to skip ahead. And I'll add on, for those that don't know how to play the game, I am not going to be explaining the rules and such. Though I am no expert at this game, I'm still new to it. I don't know what half, let alone a quarter of these things do. I'm not familiar. So it'll be a learning experience for me too. But I do know how to play the core game And I won't be explaining in detail those rules. Perhaps, I hope if you're here to learn, you'll kind of figure it out the way I tend to figure out games, just by observation. And if I ever forget anything, which I'm sure I will, I'll be referencing all sorts of stuff. But let's talk about what's on this board here. At the top, at your settlement, you can construct. Your settlement would be like your home, your city there. You can construct various things to unlock new innovations, to unlock new buildings, to craft gear, to make armor, to make items, to improve your survivors, your citizens, and they become better. This entire top section is organized with all that, and the chest boxes above the dark cards that you see here contain the actual items that you can get from them. Now this is the end of the core set, the rare gearbox. And so is this card. Everything to the right were expansion additions. And we'll get to those as we get to those. This over here is where all the expansions were. It's also holding backup material at the moment, so we probably won't be using that. This is going to be my archive box. If anything gets archived, which means destroyed basically, I will be placing them into here in case I need to get it again later. Over here on the left are all of the extra rule books here for me to reference. Hopefully I won't reference too much once we get started playing. Across the top here, this is two things. This is our settlement. You have the settlement events, which I'll go over this in detail. This is also the it's like a summary of the turn order, how you do your settlement phase. This is our innovation and endeavor tracker over here. And then this would be the end of the turn. Over here is the hunting board. This is the board used when you're hunting a monster. Going down, this is the innovation board. Really cool addition for this table. All our innovations will be placed here. And since it is in view, below that is our death counter. We will record the deaths of our various survivors here. And for those that aren't familiar with this game, yes, you're expected to lose a lot of people very frequently. This game is extraordinarily difficult. Over here on the left, we have a quarry list. This is to mark down which monsters I may choose to hunt during free periods. Free periods would be a blank space in the timeline. Speaking of the timeline, this is our settlement page. And while I am here, I wish to quickly overgo sort of the rules I've made for myself. So, we're going to be playing a normal campaign, also known as the People of the Stars campaign. The People of the Stars campaign is the core game, and it's open to have a lot of additions, which is all of the DLC. I have dragged the DLC out onto the page. All of these book icons are additional DLC. For my campaign, I ordered the DLC as appropriately as I could, without covering over any pre-existing events. For those that don't know, a lot of the expansions suggest taking over different years and replacing those events entirely. I pushed them all back because I wanted to, with this playthrough, get to experience as much as possible. While I'm doing this is going to make the game harder for me. For those that know, where all of these are normally free periods. Now they're not. Free periods allow you to hunt your quarry list to try and grind a little bit and get armor sets. For the first 25 years, which 25 years is the normal length of the core game, I'm probably going to have a really, really difficult time because I won't be able to easily acquire armor sets. It might make it, I don't know if it'll make it too hard for me, but it should, I think it'll be okay. And this way I'll be capable, barring losing my settlement and dying completely, I should be capable of showing off most of these things. As for the order of the expansions, I will go over those real quick because we are playing with all of them. The Lonely Tree is added to the hunt deck, so the chance of this occurring is always present. The Gorm is an extra monster event. He's kind of a basic monster on par with the White Lion, which is the first one you fight. And he is early, as he should be. So he replaced the Blankier 3 instead of grinding for a lion or the screaming ram. We'll be fighting the Gorm. After we go through all of these various events, I thought it would be really cool to show off the knights and then feature them together, because all three of the knight expansions, which is the Flower Knight, the Lion Knight, and the Dung Beetle Knight. The Flower Knight I did put first. You can see here it asks you to add it to year 5 or later. Year 5 you would replace with it. So we avoided that. We have him on the next available year. And then after him will be the second knight and then the third knight. Very close together, because to use what they add to the game, which is called tactics cards, basically improvements for your survivors, you need to get certain things from all three of them. So I thought it would be consistent to have them appear close together so that we can benefit from their expansion content. After we tackle the knights, we'll have a free period for me to grind something, maybe refight a knight if I can. We'll see how that all works out, because I'm not sure how that works out. I believe the knights become nemeses, but I don't recall. The next thing is the Hanged Man, which is the Manhunter event. He's kind of just a standalone extra monster. So I added him there. He comes kind of early. So he's about as early as he can be. I wanted the free break period in between him. And then after the Nemesis encounter, I wanted one more free break before doing the Young Rivals challenge, which would be Spidercules. It's a giant spider monster. So he's added in there. And then we have one more free period after these events. And then the Silver City, which will be the Lion God event occurring. And then I decided not to put another event before the Nemesis the Watcher. If you play this game normally just for the campaign, it ends here. Everything after is free for you to continue at your leisure. Because of that, after the main campaign is done, I thought it would be a good idea to add one of the two other main campaign expansions afterwards, as if we were playing Dark Souls. Normally you get to the expansion content later. So it feels like that to me. The Promise Under the Sun is the Sunstalker expansion. We will not be playing their specific campaign, obviously, which is called the People of the Sun campaign. Maybe in the future I'll do that, but this will just add their content to our game normally after year 25. And then, as a bonus fight, we have the It Is Already Here. Slender Man, yes, the creepypasta, is in this game. And we will fight that monster after one break period to try and grind the new content from Promise Under the Sun if I feel up to it. Or something else if I think I need more supplies. And finally, the latest full campaign edition, which again, we won't be playing the campaign of it, is the Glowing Crater, which is the Dragon King edition. We will be fighting the Dragon King, though. Afterwards, with all of this free space, since I've left 10 free spaces available, I thought it would be a good idea, although I cannot mark it down easily. What I wanted to do is use these little trackers here and place them not on the zone, because that marks if we've been on the year, but on the right hand side. This is going to be a Nemesis year, so that we have additional Nemesis encounters at the higher levels. Because the further down you go, the stronger and more difficult the monsters become. This way I can show off more things and extend the series for a long time. And I thought that would be a pretty good idea. So I'm just going to try and organize these. They like to snap onto their designated areas. Tell you what, I have an idea. Flick them. Flick them into place. There we go. Okay. Can't make it perfect, obviously, but that looks decent. So for 33, 36, and 39, we will do additional Nemesis fights. And then in between those, again, because these are the later years, we will be doing just the other monsters at probably their most difficult forms to see if I can. It'll be super dangerous. Once we finish year 40, which I'm thinking in my head, I will fight the level 4 or the highest possible level Dragon King, which I think is the most dangerous monster, I'm not sure. After that occurs, the campaign will be complete. So, I am pretty excited for this, and as you can tell, this is going to be a very, very long and dedicated full playthrough of Kingdom Death. We'll go over the rest of the sheet later. This here is a handy reference guide, kind of like a tier unlocking list for innovations. We don't really need that. This is the first story. I just put it to the side over here, and I'll finish off on the left. This is where character sheets are, and then handy tents made to store your characters that aren't going out, as well as saviors. So that's what's going on there. We have some dice here for the monster. This, another shout out to the creator of this program, is the rule book in a very cool interface to navigate it. Down here we have our characters. I will not be explaining what means what on these sheets. However, I do hope that through gameplay you guys will figure it out. These are various tokens for the game. Over here we have the tactics cards, 3 for each of the knights. These are 4 bonus cards here that they don't really serve a purpose. I'm simply using it as a divider for the tactics. And we have various bad things for your character and various cool things for your character, called fighting arts here. On the right hand side we have abilities, vermin, which, I'm not sure what that's for, but we have them. Strange resources, basic resources, all kinds of cool stuff. Now, I will go ahead and say that all of this is already set up. Every single strange resource from the expansion is put in here. Every new fighting art, secret fighting art, every new disorder. I don't think there was permanent injuries. All the new gear, everything's all ready to go. Over here on the right side is another rule book which I have open to hunting events, since this is the hunting event area, which is used during the hunt. And then over here on the far right are all of the monsters that you can hunt in this game. And hopefully I will be tackling all of them with the Dragon King over here last. To the left of them are the... what is it called? The encampment... the settlement. This is the settlement resources stockpile. This is what we have available to craft with, as well as what gear is available to us. I suppose I'll show off these very cool official art pictures that surround us. I will not explain what they are about, but we will get involved in the story of Kingdom Death soon. It's like I said, this will be a storied playthrough. And this is the room that we will be playing in. So before I end this episode, I was thinking, for the character names, for the settlement stuff, I would love to use viewers, commenters, and all that stuff, get you guys in on the game. It would be amazing. Perhaps in the future I will do that. I'm simply not a big enough identity, not a big enough content creator to get that sort of participation going currently. So I decided something that is near and dear to me and to probably many people, as we are all gamers here, would be to, for the ease of use and naming, I'm going to be making this horrifying Kingdom Death world Nintendo themed. It'll be a clash of, the gruesomeness of this game with the lighthearted characters we know and love as they struggle to survive and probably get horribly mauled to death by various things and tons of worse ways to die. But I will be sticking to Nintendo themed characters, and for the village, I haven't decided what I'll call the settlement yet, because you get to name the settlement, but I will figure that out at a different point in time. So, thank you guys for watching the introductory video. I hope you're as excited as I am. Next time I come in here, we will begin the story, the first story, and start a new journey to try and survive in this horrifying world. I hope you look forward to it. Welcome to Kingdom Death Monster.